Have you ever wanted to start a map game YouTube channel centered around the games EU4, Victoria, or even Hearts of Iron 4, but you don't really know where to start? You don't even know how to do your thumbnail? Well, that was me about a year ago. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. You know, I had to learn how to do thumbnails and record and edit the videos all last year pretty much. And man, do my thumbnails now compared to my very first ones, even on my most popular video, look so much better now than they did a year ago. I want to show you guys how I make my thumbnails because there's no video on YouTube that shows how to make these map game thumbnails that work for E4, Victoria 3, Hearts of Iron. So first thing that we're going to have to do, obviously, hop into your game of choice, EU4, Victoria 3, Hoi 4, it's all the same. What we're going to do is we're going to choose any random nation. In this case, I'm going to choose Ming, because Ming is a large country at the start of the game. We're going to press F11 on the keyboard. That's going to give us a screenshot. Now, what I recommend also when you make your thumbnails, record your video first, where at whatever the height of your country looks like or the end result of your country looks like, take a screenshot of that. Now, my program of choice is Photoshop, so I'm going to open this up and we're going to click on new file. Make sure you select HDV, HDTV 720 pixels, because this is the exact size that you're going to need for your YouTube thumbnail. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, go to Documents, Paradox Interactive, in my case EU4, Screenshots, and we're going to grab the one for Ming. There we go, there's our screenshot. What I do at this point then is I select the cropping tool, and we're going to square up our country. So we're going to get it within these three boxes here and eliminate a lot of the extra stuff that you don't need to see. And again, we're going to make Ming the center point of the thumbnail. Once you're done with that, just click off to the side. Okay, now we got our image. We're going to have to resize our image now. We're going to click on image size. We're going to enter in 1280 720. So now we got our larger image. So at this point, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to cut out our image of Ming. So you have two options. Either you can use this pen tool here. You know, typically what I just use the lasso tool. I just do it all in one go, which may not be the best, but method, but it works the best for me. And now you have your country completely outlined here. Don't worry about it being perfect or anything like that. It doesn't have to be. We're going to go ahead, right click on it, and do layer via copy, and that's going to duplicate our country. Next, what we're going to do is go to this FX down here in the bottom right. We're going to go ahead and put a drop shadow in here that kind of outlines what we're working on a little bit more. I'm going to add stroke to the country. This one is going to be an inside stroke of about size 2, and it's going to be black. Might make it a little bit smaller later on. And if you decide to, you could also do an inside stroke of white of size 3, and it gives you a nice little kind of border around the country. Typically what I've been doing anymore is I've just been doing this white border here, and then I do this outer glow here. I just make it white, add an opacity of about 25%, make sure it's on lighten. That's softer. The spread, depending on how bright you want your country to be or the focal point and stuff, you could adjust these. One thing I found too is really the brighter the thumbnail, more attention it grabs, and the more likely somebody might click on your video. We're also going to add an inner glow, same concept. It's going to add more brightness to our country. So I'm going to click on this box here, and then now you get the little squishy tool here, and we're just going to click on any random spot here for the Ming, and we're going to shift this color so then that way it makes it its brightest. So something like that. I'm going to increase the size so it covers the entire country here, makes it brighter, and I will actually lower the size of the stroke here to 2. Country stands out very well against the background here. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to find a person that we're going to put in the picture as well too. In my case, I'm going to go with the Hongwu Emperor. So we're just going to find a good image of him first, which honestly this one looks pretty good. So we're just going to save it, and then we're going to I use this website here called Pixlr, to cut out the image. Take your image that you're going to use, drag it onto the screen, click on unlock, trim the cutout mask tool here, AI auto, it's going to cut him out in its entirety. You can do this 3 times in one day. Now we're going to go back to our Photoshop and we're just going to click drag and drop him in here, kind of resize him, and of course give him kind of a tilt so he's kind of leaning into the country here. And much like what we did with Ming, we're going to do the same thing, add a drop shadow to him so it looks like he's part of the image. Now we're also going to just add an outer glow to him, but with him I'm going to lessen the size and the spread. We're also going to take this background, so I'm going to click on the original background image that we started out with, click on this right here, go to brightness and contrast, and we're going to lower down the brightness and up the contrast, so then that way both Hongwu here and the Ming stand out very, very well. And then again, selecting that same background, we're going to go up to filter, blur, and I'm going to do a radial blur here, and I'm going to bring it down to a size 2, keeping it in the center. You can move it around here, but since Ming is in the center of our picture here, we're just going to keep it there. And it adds like just a nice blur to kind of block out some of those other countries. Now really the final touch for this thumbnail that we're going to do, because this is going to be the thumbnail that you guys have clicked on for this video, is I'm going to add some text to it. So all you do is press T, and we're just going to make a box, type out whatever your word is, do Control T while having this selected, and you can actually adjust the size of this. You can also just go over here and just change the size of the font itself. I tend to find 100 is typically pretty good. And same thing, we're going to add a drop shadow to map. No outer glow on this one. I'm going to add a stroke to it, and we're going to put it on the outside. I have it set for black, so it'll just go automatically do that. And we're going to do a gradient overlay here. I'm thinking with this one, we're going to do a kind of gray color. We're going to go with a nice iridescent here. So I'm going to click on this. You can adjust the coloration and all that stuff, but I like how this looks right now. I'm going to copy, paste, do the same thing. I'm going to line this up and then change that, of course. And then I'm just going to do that a couple more times. And as you can see, the text I want to use here is below Ming. So we're actually going to move this up all the way to the top, and it's going to put that in the foreground. I'm going to increase the size of thumbnails here and just rearrange some of the things like map game. And for thumbnails here, I'm going to change the gradient overlay. I want it to be a little bit brighter so it stands out. So in this case, I'm going to take like an orange color, I'm thinking. Actually, I really like this red, so I'm going to use that. And there we go. That's our thumbnail that we're going to use for this video. I'm going to go ahead, save as, save a copy. I'm going to save it to my computer and change it to a JPEG because it's easiest for me. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys like these kind of videos that kind of show how some YouTubers make their thumbnails and stuff, or how I make my thumbnails. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, kind of the creative process of actually making videos and thumbnails and stuff like that. So also too, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.